Good morning. This is Ogle's Fish Room. Ogle Warfield speaking. I have never done a video of my fish room at night, and I thought it might be time to do that. It is about 5:30 in the morning, and this is when I come in and start turning on my lights in the fish tank. Anyway, this is my newest tank. This is a 5-gallon. It's got the little female beta. I had her focused a second ago. Oh, there she is. I know you can't see her coloring. I just did a video of her. I've only set this up a couple of days ago. But it's very interesting to me. I come in here a lot and just sit here for a few hours in the morning and watch these tanks before I turn the lights on. That's a good silhouette of her finage. This is one of, well, probably the prettiest female betta I have ever laid eyes on. That's why I had to buy her. I brought her home and put her in a 10-gallon, and she was just too small. So I went out and got, this is the top fin backlit aquarium. Actually, the light is not on back there; it just appears so. The backlighting was the right word. A little modern for me, for lack of a better way of putting it. There she is. I know you can't see her coloring in this light, but anyway, I'm very happy with the escaping I've done to this. Let's see if I can get a little closer. There. Got the Dawsonary on the right. I built up the sand with the rock there, and part of the wood is holding it back further. Over here is you can't see it, but on the other side of this mound is a coconut, half a coconut shell with a Java fern on top of it. You can see that a little bit sticking up behind the wood. And then there's a rock that you probably can't see too much, but it's right there in the middle of the screen, holding the left bank up to create kind of a cavern down through here. A lot of caviness going on in this piece of wood, and I just love that. On top there, I had when my Java ferns and other tanks produce babies, when they get big enough, I pull the babies off the leaves and put them in a container and wait until I have enough to where I will take a little rock and put super glue gel on it and glue the babies to it, and that's what that is, sitting on top of the wood. A lot of this, the one right in front of you, is an Anubias. Java fern in the back. That's the sponge filter you're staring in the back corner there. I love those. I've said that before, but they're just fantastic. Easy to clean, easy to pull the sponges off. Hang on the back filter in the back. It's not producing too much movement in here, but I do like movement. I only use sand as a substrate, and the movement takes the sand is so fine that the waste does not get to penetrate down in there too much, and the movement of the water circulates and sucks it up into the filters and remove it. Anyway, we're going to try to do a scan of the whole room here, even though I'm fascinated with her, and I'm patting myself on the back a little bit for what I've done with this 5-gallon. I never thought I'd even own something as small as a 5-gallon, but this betta, you can see, look at her finage. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Very unusual. And I know you can't see the coloring here, but she's actually a mustard gas, which I didn't even know that they had that in the female. But anyway, but she's just so tiny that she needed her own smaller tank here. Okay, I'm going to move to the left. This is a 10. Let me back up here a little. There you go. I've got river rock, a lot of different spider wood with Anubias, some little red tiger lily, dwarf tiger lily, right there in the corner. My betta doesn't seem to be awake yet. I like structure. I like to move the sand around, make it different levels. That's my idea of scaping. I watch a lot of these videos that have 10 zillion views, and they're all backed by some company that seems to have endless funds. I watched one guy one day, and he's saying, "Well, I know not everybody has $1,000 to put into plants." I'm like, Jesus, yeah, no, they don't. So anyway, and they're all using this very expensive substrate and et cetera, et cetera. I love my fish. I love scaping, but I just don't think in those terms. None of my tanks have any. I have 9 tanks right now. This is the 9th that you're staring at, the little 5-gallon. Excuse me. All of them have sand. I've always used sand. As far as the plants that actually need a substrate, the Vallisneria is one of the few things I use and seems to do fine. Most of what else I use is Java fern and the wide variety of Anubias that you can just attach to wood and rocks with super glue gel. Okay, I'll go back to this one. Okay, I just love the blue tones here. And, oh, I know what I was going to say. Even though it looks very backlit, it is bright when you turn this baby on, but that's not it. It's just a reflective panel back there. I put my own. No, anyway, I use mostly for my lighting. I use the submersible LED light strips. This is a very small one in here. It's only 6 inches long. I simply suction cut it to the underside of the lids. And what I like about them is they're remote controlled, all of them, every one that I have in here. And at night I simply turn on the blue mode, and during the day I turn on the white mode. And they're just fantastic. And they're relatively inexpensive. I watch these other videos, and all these guys have, $100, $500 lights. I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway, and I don't like that reflective off the top. I like that. I like that. I like some. Well, this lid wasn't made for this tank, but I had it on something else, and but that's not bad. I don't mind a little bit of that. But mostly, I like the light contained in the tank, not these open tanks. I just don't happen to care for that now. I am almost 68 years old here, so there might be a difference in generations, but everybody seems to like the open tops these days. And that's fine, but it just seems like it gets dirt in there, things getting in the tank that I personally wouldn't want to have to deal with. And anyway, I'm talking too much. I just think there's a cheaper way. You can do a beautiful scape without having everything in the substrate and without, anyway, spending a fortune. I rely heavily, as you can see, on, I think that was a shrimp. I rely heavily on wood, use of wood, and Anubias, and Java fern, and Vallisneria. Okay, we're going to pause for a second so I can turn around here. Okie dokie. This is a 10. Again, this is night mode. I'm impressed that the camera's saying as much as it is, because my eyes, it's pretty dark in there. This is the blue lights on all my tanks. This is nighttime. And this is the one of my. I've got two of these. One of my. It's a top fin. I forgot the name of the tank, but it's a column. It's a 10-gallon column. It's 12. The base is 12 by 12, and almost 20 inches tall. It's got a very deep or high lid on it to house the lights. I really like that. Uh, we have all my smaller tanks anyway. Have the in the back corner there. You can see the filter sponge filter. I love those. And there's also a hang on the back filter in the back. We have some very large. I know it's hard to see, but that rock literally is 12 inches long. It goes all the way down to the bottom of this tank because I didn't want it falling over. So it was put in first on top of styrofoam. Yes, I put styrofoam in the bottom of all my tanks that I'm going to have rocks in. Piece of styrofoam, and then I started putting things on top of it, and I filled, as you can see, the sand there is very, very thick around the base of that rock, but it's 12 inches long. And the one back there is quite long as well. It goes almost from one side to the other. And then that one's holding some sand back over here. We've got a piece of Java fern glued to a rock here. Java fern mat in the back. Now, that's just on one of those mats. You can buy Java fern on a mat. They're expensive these days. It's $20, but it's a huge piece of Java fern, and it's sitting down behind the rock so you don't see the mat because it can't be covered with substrate because the rhizome will die if you cover up a Java fern. So anyway, this is how I disguise it. I put it behind things. Now that's actually glued. You can see the roots there, but it is glued to a rock. It's actually glued to the backside of the rock. There, sorry, I'm trying to show you. Now, there's nothing wrong with the roots coming out and going down in the ground if it so desires, but you don't want the rhizome underwater. So anyway, that's a piece of Java fern glued to a rock. Lovely, lovely, lovely piece of spider wood. I mean, that's just gorgeous. I would say it's the prettiest one I've ever seen, but this is another beautiful, another beautiful piece of wood here. This is all one piece of spider wood. This is just breathtaking here. Got some coolie loaches in here. Quite a few dwarf quarries. Another huge rock yet. I like that. I enjoyed that design. Some little small Velocin area down here. Rocks, kind of the same idea. It's creating a pocket in the back so you can't even, the Java fern is sitting down on the bottom of the tank. Yes, this has styrofoam on the bottom as well before I set it up. Sponge filter in the back, hang on the back filter there. Again, this is nighttime. I need to remind everybody that. This is a 10 normal, long, if you will, 10 long. Okay, what we have here is 3 Paletus, there he is, Cory cats. We've got 15 neon tetras. Got a little coconut hut here with Java fern. Actually, this is lace Java fern. That long thing there is a coolie loach. We have several in there. Oh, there's one of the beds has awoken. Where is he? There he is. I know you can't tell the color. His body's almost white. His finnage is red and blue. Beautiful, beautiful. He's just a normal veil tail, but his coloring was spectacular. Okay, once again, the sponge filter. But look at that piece of wood. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, pretty, 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 pretty. This is probably. I was very lucky. I know the shipping times of my pet stores when they're going to receive plants and fish. So I am there when they open stuff up. So I have a tendency to get first choice. On the to pick through the wood, the spider wood when they first open it. So I've been very lucky about. Let me move over here a little bit. I'm trying so hard to show you the size of this spider wood. I mean, it is just immense. It goes from literally it's touching the side of the tank over here to over here. Now, I just actually purchased this yesterday, or maybe the day before. This is a piece of regular driftwood that usually, you can see the hole there, they usually come in with plants on them. But either they died in the shipment or they didn't bother to put the plant in or what, for whatever reason. Now these are expensive too. If they have if they come in with an Anubias on them, they're $20. But you can get them for half price. Actually, I think they're, $15.99, $16. So I get these for half that price if they don't have any plants on them. Now sometimes I'll put my own plants because I propagate the Anubias and trim it every now and then. And I can put that in there. However, in this particular case, and in the case of some others, you'll see in a few minutes, actually there's another piece back there. The wood is just so gorgeous that I didn't even put plants on it. I just, actually this I'm using to kind of block the view of the sponge filter. And that I'm holding back because there's a pocket I created back there for the Java fern mat. And so this is holding back the sand actually, instead of using rocks. But it's just a gorgeous piece of wood. Red dwarf red tiger lotus. That one's growing really well. Okay. Oh, they're kind of, everybody's starting to wake up here. There, that's a good shot. Now once again, this is nighttime lights. Let's move along a little bit here. Okay, over here is my 20 long dwarf tiger lily over there. Little cave I just put in yesterday, matter of fact. One of the bumblebee gobies. I have 12 in here. They seem to be doing fantastic. We just talked about buying some of this wood. Look how, I just love this piece of wood. Now that one I did find a crevice that I trimmed one of my Anubias and stuck it on the top of this wood. There's some of the roots coming down here. Okay, in here, let's see. We have, there's a baby dwarf lotus, Valsinaria, sponge filter, rocks, spiderwood. We have, where's my betta? There he is. Beautiful. Just a normal veil-tail betta, but his coloring is just fantastic. We have black neons in the background there. We have, there they are, some very fast swimming, I call them zebra tetras, not tetras, the zebra danios. There they are, long fin zebra danios. I only have 4 of those. There's Cooley Loach. What do I have in here? Dwarf quarries. I don't see any right at the moment. Look how those neons are stacked up back there. That's funny. Black neons. I think that's about it. Koi loaches, dwarf quarries. Sorry, I'm just trying to scan the tank here. A lot of Anubias on the wood. Look at the gnarliness of that piece of wood there. Oh, beautiful. I'm sorry, I really do love the structure. As I said, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to escape something nice. And you don't have to have, this is one of the things I'm really trying to point out here, you do not have to have, put a gazillion dollars into something. Now, of course, everything costs, but a lot of what I buy, like the rocks and the wood, are not going to die. And Anubias, you almost can't kill Anubias or Java fern, so they last for a very long time. I've had wonderful luck with the red tiger lilies. I have not had any of those die. Matter of fact, they produce babies. So, I mean, I think that looks nicely planted. The wood structure is not going anywhere. If it's in there for a long time, I might take it out and scrub it with a wire brush from time to time, just to make sure it's really down to the bone, so to speak, on the wood. It's not rotting and decaying and tainting my tank. Okay, we're going to pause for a second. Okie dokie, we're almost through. This is my 20 high. 20 high. What we have here is, this is the only one you've seen so far that doesn't have a betta in it. This has a school of 15 long fin black skirt tetras. There they are. They're quite lovely, actually. They're perfect for this tank. I have several koi loaches. We have Anubias, Java fern, a huge red, it's still a dwarf, but it's in a smallish tank. So, red dwarf tiger lily. Look at the leaves on that. Piece of driftwood over here with all kind of Anubias on it. I kind of trimmed some of my Anubias from other tanks and put it in this piece of wood. I've got this piece of wood, and I put some on it. Okay. That's the 20 high. We're going to go down. Here's a, excuse me, I'm trying so hard not to be shaky here. Okay, there we are. This is just a normal, no, this isn't a 10. This is a 15. It's 15 inches high. Same dimensions as a 10. Like 20 inches long, 10 inches back, deep, and 15 inches high. These things do a good job of, obviously plants and this. These things do a good job of hiding that what's in this is 9 red triple tetras, which I don't see them on right now. Several, we've got some autos, fully loaches for the cleanup crew. There's a couple of shirts. They seem to be happy in here. There's a lot of structure for them to move around. Okay. Well, let's see. There we go. Okay, this is going to be the last tank of the night. I have 9 tanks. You've seen, we started with the 5, then went to the 10, and then a 10 column, another 10 column, a regular 10, then the 20 long, then the 20 high, then another 10 on the rack over here to my left, and this is my 75. This is the biggest tank I have. So this is 9 tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, we're looking at the 9th tank. What we have now, this is night mode. That corner, there's the first two tanks you saw over there. I don't have lights on the right side. I just have one light over here. The light I turn on in a few minutes for daytime is a strip light, and it's very bright. But I wanted to show you what everything looks like at night. Again, white sand, a lot of wood, all that, all that's wood. This is a gigantic piece of, I don't know if you can even see that, the stumps hanging out at the top of the tank in the back. I had this piece of wood in a 6-foot iguana cage. Well, iguana was 6 foot. The cage was much larger, but this is a huge piece of wood that he crawled on years and years and years ago. Anyway, don't have much in the way of plants in there. I've got a couple of nubias that are kind of surviving. There's one over there. Let's see if I can. Okay, the big right there, the forked tail fish coming toward us, getting ready to swim around to the. Well, I thought he was coming to the left, but he didn't. There he is. Okay, those. I've got a male and a female. Those are filamatosa, given to me by a friend. Also have two. I don't see them right